Beyond the Gates time. Let's get into it. Today's episode was chocked full of drama. We saw Nicole still comforting Danny after the results of the gene testing have come in. Just a reminder, Nicole is negative, but unfortunately, Danny is positive. So Nicole's checking up on Danny, who's in her room just processing everything. And Nicole feels selfish that she's fine and her kids are in the clear. And she's just really sad for Danny and the kids. And she wants to take care of her baby sister. And she encourages Danny to just do a lot of self-care, process this, and that, the test results, the risk does not equal a diagnosis, and that's how she should basically move. Nicole agrees to stay there and talk to Andre once he finally arrives back home, because remember, he went out, he left his phone, so he has no idea what's going on. While Nicole is upstairs comforting Danny, we still have Kat, Naomi, and Chelsea downstairs. Naomi is doing what she does in times of crisis. She is trying to hold on to the only thing that she can control, and that is trying to schedule the gene testing for herself and Chelsea via the Garland Memorial Hospital portal. And it is not working for Naomi, so she leaves and goes directly to the hospital to talk to a human. Meanwhile, Kat is trying to comfort Chelsea, and then Nicole comes back downstairs at this point, and she also tries to comfort Chelsea as well. She gives her the same advice as Danny, basically, just to, self-care is a must. And in this instance, work can be a welcome distraction, just so she can continue moving forward and to take her mind off of this risk. Because again, the risk does not necessarily mean that Danny or anybody else will get breast cancer. So we also saw Chelsea call Bill to give him the news, because Bill was in his office while Tomas, Haley, and Carolyn were all going over the Lynette trial that's coming up. And Bill was just so distracted. His mind was just on the conversation with Danny. So when Chelsea calls, Bill is frantic, okay? He is tearing that desk up, looking for his key so he can get to his real family, or my family, as he referred to them in front of Haley. Once Bill got them keys, he ran out of the door. He did not say anything to Haley, did not offer for her to come with him, nothing. So, of course, the home wrecker is upset. And you know what? I get it. You are the wife, but I just don't respect you, so I don't care about your feelings. Andre is at the country club picking up food for Danny, and he runs into Ted, and they start having a conversation. And Ted just wants to know how Andre feels, and he admits that he's very scared, but he's going to be there for Danny. And then they start talking about Carlton. Andre told Ted how Carlton gave him great advice, and he encouraged Ted to basically forgive his friend, because life is too short to be angry with people you really love. So Carlton's still at the bar, drinking his little nasty Bloody Marys, and Ted comes over, and they start chatting, and they basically make amends. It couldn't be me, but go you, Ted. He basically says, he's happy to know that Nicole is now dating someone who will cherish her the way she needs to be cherished. And he basically gives his blessing for Carlton to be that man for Nicole. These people are crazy. Ain't no way in hell. But that's just me. So they've made amends. Yay. At this point, Naomi has made it to the hospital. She is catching up with Ashley, her bestie, and Ashley's going to do what she can to make sure that Naomi and Chelsea can get their gene testing done as soon as possible, because Ashley doesn't want her bestie to wait. And I get it, but privilege is so nice, ain't it? So while Ashley is pulling strings, apparently the lab tech, let me see, I think his name is Grayson, asked her out on a date. And Naomi's like, are you prostituting, dating in exchange for my labs? And Ashley's like, no, but Grayson is hot. So they're going to go out on a date. Okay. So back to Bill. He has run out of the office and he is, of course, at Danny's house. Okay? Nicole is there and she is basically like, what are you doing here? You don't need to be here. You should go check on the kids because this is no longer your place. Bill was like, yeah, whatever. Where is Danny? And Nicole tells him, I wouldn't have told him anything. But of course, he runs up the steps as if he still lives there, as if this is still his wife. Danny happens to not be in the bath, thank God, but she is in her bathrobe. And he bursts in and he just, they embrace, and Bill is just the model husband. But guess what? This is no longer your wife, Bill. So they're hugging, and Danny is like, for a little bit, she lets them hug. But then she's like, what are you doing here? This is no longer your place. You should be with the girls. And then Bill is like, well, why is it so natural that I am here? I mean, I don't know, Bill. You need to be asking yourself those questions. You jumped up and married the child bride, remember? So while Bill is upstairs with Danny, Andre finally makes it back home and Nicole tells him what happened. And of course he's distraught, but he said he's going to be there for Danny. Where is she? And then Nicole tells him that Bill is upstairs with her. And Andre goes up there and he walks in on them hugging and he is not pleased. He breaks it up very quickly. He then comforts his wife. And then Bill starts making these little slide remarks like, oh, he's poking Andre and he's there anytime that Danny needs him and she can call him. And Andre's like, not today. Let me walk you out. When I tell you Andre checked Bill something serious, I was like, what? Some furniture is about to be moving in this house. He told Bill, you're the one who basically threw away your marriage, dated your daughter's best friend, and then married the mistress. So this is no longer your concern. And I will let it slide for today. But the next time I see you doing something like this, we are going to have a problem. Woo! Get him, Andre. Lastly, we saw Haley with her annoying ass. She was whining to Tomas about how Bill will never leave Danny alone, basically, and how she's always the priority. And then Tomas talked her down, and she was like, yeah, you're right, blah, blah, blah. So Tomas leaves, and then Haley jumps on the phone with her cousin, just basically saying that when she is done, Danny will be the one who's crying over Bill's casket. Now, Tomas didn't hear that, but he heard the rest of the conversation where Haley was just basically talking about she needs to kick things up a notch. She's talking about that poison, but Tomas doesn't know. So, oh my goodness. I wonder if Tomas is going to run and tell Bill the little bit that he's heard already. It's almost time for Haley to be exposed, please, because this is dragging out. And I cannot wait until Dum Bill realizes this heifer has been playing him the entire time.